As many of you are probably aware, Aben is very involved up in the Golden Triangle. We've been up there now drilling 2 years. It's a cyclical season up there. Here's my forward-looking statement. It's relatively small, which is a good thing. Capital structure, this is a good chart. This gives you an indication of what to look forward to. As a venture capital company, we are at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference. We are not boring stocks. We're speculative stocks. That's what we do here. And, you tend to buy stocks based on capital structure, people, projects. You have to be somewhat informed in order to do this. And that's really the nature of this business. That's why we have so many gold or resource-based companies that are public in Canada. We've developed the model worldwide. And as you can see, we've got 111 million shares outstanding. We've fully diluted, it's 133 million. We've taken down a lot of warrants in the last year. We've cashed up tremendously. As you can see in the bottom corner, Eric Sprott, actually one of the biggest shareholders, he's pretty well at 10% all the time. If he goes over because he's bought stock, he files insiders. Management and insiders, they're about 10 million as well. We've got some very friendly groups of investors that make up a lot more stock, but they're totally independent and can do what they want. They understand the cyclical nature of this business, this particular company anyway. OTP Fund is a fund that they hold about pretty close to 10% at any given time. It's a fund out of Budapest, Hungary. They're new to the venture game, the resource game. They've done very well with us. They've done very well with Sky Harbor. They will buy in the market and they'll sell when they can. They've been extremely successful. Red Plug Capital is also involved with us on the flow-through side. They're a local group that does a lot of flow-through financings. As far as management goes, we've had some good success as a management group. There's myself, Tim Termundi, and Ron Nedolitsky, and then Cornell McDowell runs the programs for us as the head geo. Obviously, there's been some success. If everybody's been in the business a while, you will have heard Ron's name. Just as far as M&A and transactional business goes, you can think of Snip, Eskay Creek, Brewery Creek, Copper Canyon, Viceroy, Brett Resources. Those are all companies that Ron has developed and sold and been involved in transactions with. Tim Termundi was involved in Copper Canyon with Ron. They sold that to Galore Creek. And I had a company called Bayfield, and I sold that to New Gold. And Cornell and I got together several years ago developing a copper deposit. So he ran that whole program. We drilled about 300 holes, 130,000 meters. He's very effective, very efficient, good at running in a camp that has historic nature of being high cost. Investment highlights that I would say take away from last year. You've got obviously the high-grade nature. We hit very high grades right at the beginning of the season of our drill program. The next 2, 4, 6 holes were all really good nature, well-natured, very high-grade step-out holes, but they weren't as high-grade as the very first one. And then as we stepped away from things diminished a bit. But the takeaway is we're in a zone that is incredibly high, has the high-grade potential. We've proven it the year before with high-grade, and we proved it this year. It's our job to find the connectivity and the how it all works together, how it fits together. And that's structure and orientation. That's very important. That's what we're working on with all the data we got this year. Another highlight is we raised a lot of money off of that first hole. It was $4.2 million. Eric Sprott took half of that. We raised $800,000 in warrant exercises. We did almost $1 million in flow-through, cleaned up the balance of the initial flow-through funds they only had bits and pieces left, but we put together $950,000. I had raised in April before the season $1.5 million, and I had about $1 million in the till. Right now, I've got about $6 million in the till. we're in good shape. I don't have to raise any money this year. I can do a bigger program than last year. Last year's program was, we increased it, it was about $3 million. Oh, there's one. I can see that. The data interpretation, we've got so much information now, even on holes that we didn't have market success on. That Ron always tells me, what do you know from the holes that didn't have anything? We know quite a bit now. We've got a big airborne survey, Aeromag, being done in March. It'll be drone. It'll replace all the old surveys that we've got, because where we're drilling in the boundary zone has a huge geochem anomaly, and parts of it are overlaying with old geophysics. This drone survey is going to happen, and I've seen a lot of the drone surveys being done, and they're incredible. The detail is unbelievable. The resolution's phenomenal. Beats a helicopter. All we have to do is have not a windy day. And then obviously, we've also now got 2 other projects that we're looking to ramp up that'll help the year-round focus of the company. You're going to have news flow all year long. Just basic info about the Golden Triangle. It's got a lot of past producers, current producers, and future producers that are kind of lining up. One of the biggest things that's changed the dynamics up there is Newmont stepped in with tech and has taken over the Galore Creek. I've been talking to the contractors up there in the drilling business, the pad building business. They've got a big program lined up. It's going to re-energize this whole thing. Another good point is our pad permits came through after we finished drilling. We have 40 new pad locations. We only worked with 9 last year. Then and now this is just about the new infrastructure that you didn't have before. We have enough power to fire up probably 30 mines. You've got a highway in there that's paved. As far as the new look, this is about the geologic modeling that's changed over the years. There's a new geologic model that looks a lot like this. You've got to have a major regional structure. You've got to have this contact nearby. It's called the red line. It's contact between the Hazelton and Stuhini group. And you want to be within 2 kilometers of it. That's where every deposit in this area has basically been found, within reach of that red line. But you got to have that regional structure. And we've got the Kerr fault running the whole length of the property. So we're in an area that's very dynamic. It's very active. In where we're drilling, the boundary zone, it's, I'm going to skip through this because these are cross sections of the high grade nature of the holes. Just the ones right in the north boundary zone. South boundary zone, those are some of the best holes we drilled. The market didn't really get onto it because they don't have the 30 gram stuff. They got 15 gram. We've got mineralization at up to 100 meters, and it's good mineralization. We think what we've got here is something that needs to be drilled a lot more. As Ron said, we could be like 1 degree off with the drill and hit another highlight hole like what we started with. That's the geophysical anomaly, geochem anomaly, sorry. It's a gold geochem anomaly. It's 4 kilometers long, 2 kilometers wide. We've just scratched the surface on the north boundary zone. We've learned a lot, and the south boundary zone we're going to learn even more. There's a lot there to the south of us that we haven't even got to. And just looking forward, the information that's being compiled right now it's making us a lot smarter for next year. We're going to probably have 1 drill here carrying on doing what we're doing. This is our very first target area when we did the initial data compilation. And we have 15 targets over the length of this property. We're still on the first one, so we're looking at getting another drill next year to do more regional exploration work at these other targets that we find important. But this zone here is just too rich. There's too much going on, and it's going to take time. This is exploration. We're not in development. This is exploration. Eskay Creek was found on the 109th hole. This is going to take time. You're there for a reason. There's a lot of smoke. This gives you an idea of the funds that are raised, that sort of thing. We're well funded. We're in good shape, very good shape. The mineralizing potential is really good. I just went over that. This is just another diagram that'll give you that information. These first 2 points, if you grab the PowerPoint from the booth, gives you a little bit more knowledge of what we know. There are the structures, the faults that are coming in from the northwest and northeast, and where they converge is where we're finding the higher grade gold that we're hitting. Yeah, I'm going to get right second project, Justin. It's ready to be drilled. It's up in the Yukon, right next to Golden Predator. We just did a little trenching program. This is what we've found. It's called the Lost Ace because it's right on strike with the Three Aces project that they've got. It's in the same formation. We're closer to another regional structure that an intrusion that this could be related to. This could be an enriching element for an intrusive related gold system. And it's overprinting the one that we already know that's there because we drilled it back in 2012. And then we got the CHICO in Saskatchewan. If all goes well there with finalizing the deal with the natives, we could be in there at the end of February. That's ready to be drilled. There you go. Thanks.